I have a 2002 Yamaha Blaster that's been basically frame off, rebuilt. Has new tires in the back. These are brand new. They're dirty, but brand new chain, new sprockets. Engine is fully rebuilt from top to bottom. They're new cases. The guy I got it from kind of like bullshitted me on it. Told me it needed rings, and it didn't. It had two holes where a piston came apart inside the cylinder, and it put two holes in the bottom of the cases. So the cases are new. It has a new OEM crank, crank bearings, crank seals. Well, basically all oil seals are replaced. Trying to think. It's a 30 over top end. It's new. Tires in the front are in really good shape. They're not new, but they're not dry rotted or anything like that. They're all in perfect shape. Their front shocks have been rebuilt. I repolished them as good as I could. All new tie rods. Tie rods are brand new. They're all greased too. Ball joints. Everything's been greased. Has skid plate on it. Full skid plate. Trying to think. Front hubs are all rebuilt. New bearings, brakes, or brake shoes in the front on both. The only issues with this quad is it has a rip in the seat, which not a big deal. New seat covers like 15 bucks or whatever. And I lost the rear brake caliper and the rod for the rear brakes. So it needs a caliper and the rods, but this quad has like 8 hours on it. I rebuilt it for my wife. She's went out on it twice. When we went out, we rode about 3.5, maybe 4 hours each time out. Runs flawless. I'll fire it up real quick. There's no issues whatsoever with this thing. Runs really good. So basically what I want to do is I want to sell it for, I mean, I know this thing's worth maybe $1,700, you know. I mean, I'm sure it is, but it doesn't have the rear brake caliper, and it has the rip in the seat. It needs a headlight if you want to put a headlight back on it, but really that's basically it. But all the wiring is there for the headlight. All the arms, you know, all the A-arms have been greased. Everything's in perfect shape. You know, quad runs and rides awesome. You know, start up first kick. You know, when it's cold, you know, when it's super cold out, you know, choke it. You know, if it doesn't start the first kick, it'll start the second kick for sure. But here's, I have a bunch of extra parts to go with it. Here's all the old bearings. You know, this is both crank bearings right here. Both crank seals. These are bearings that were in the trans. The old ones that were in the trans that I replaced. Shifter seal, I believe. And on top of it, I basically have enough parts to freshen up the bottom and top end when it's ready. I mean, this thing's going to last like a couple years, you know, riding, as long as it's taken care of, oil changed like it should be. I have new head gasket, crank seals, I have a whole crank seal set. I have both bearings. I have both left and right crank bearings. Intake gasket, the little donut for the exhaust that goes up in there. Here's the old front brake drums. You know, they're actually good. There's nothing wrong with them. You know, with this had been being her first quad. You know, she was learning on it. You know, I wanted everything on it new, but the shoes are actually in good shape. You know, not so much for the bearings. You know, the bearings are pretty shot, but you can pop the bearings out and put new ones in there. I have another set of front hubs for it. Here's the old tie rods that were actually in really good shape. You know, they're still tight. They're not loose or anything. So, I have all the other stuff for the brakes, the lever, you know, the foot lever, the spring, the rear pin that actually goes in the back, you know, brakes. I have it marked. I just don't know what the hell I did with the caliper in the shoes. So, but yeah, you know, I like to get 1,200 out of it. 1,200, you know, or I trade it for like a YZ or CR 85. You know, I really wanted a 125, but you know, this is her new quad that I just picked up for her, and it's got the extended A-arms and axle and everything, and my truck's not all that big, so I'll have a hell of a time trying to get that, my kid's little bike, and whatever I get inside my truck. You know, it's a short bed, so you know, I figure I'll go back with a little 85 and ride that around with my son. So the only thing not stock on this is the silencer. You know, I can't remember what silencer it was or it is, but it's a nice quad. You know, someone would be really happy with this. It's gonna last them a long ass time. Come out here, you ride it, you know, run it around for like an hour. I don't care. You know, if you want, I could take you out to where we go riding at and let you ride it a little bit. But other than that, it is what it is. It's a nice quad, you know, and really can't beat the price for it.